Oh hey there, welcome back to my series of producing your own stuff. So today I'm gonna show you how to set up your tracking session, how to find the right guitar tones, what VSTs, what kind of software you're gonna need, how to route it all, and how to start writing music. By the way, make sure to stick around till the end of the video where I'm gonna be giving away one mixing or producing tip and trick. So to start off, you're gonna need a instrument, which is a guitar, probably, because I assume some people use guitars for writing, or MIDI guitars, or whatever guitars you want. I have this Ibanez that I borrowed because my guitars are in very low tuning, and I think not everyone plays in drop, so might as well use something more sensible. So I've got this guitar set up in drop C, and that's what we're gonna be writing in throughout the series, drop C. So better tune it to drop C or don't, I don't care. So we've got our guitar. We'll need then audio interface in order to track our guitars through it. You can either use interface as instrument input, like here on my Sapphire 56, or you can use a DI box, which will improve your signal and then route it into your interface. I highly recommend using a DI box when tracking your guitars, especially if you're running some sort of guitar processing unit like Kemper or Axe-Fx, because it allows you to track clean signal together with the process signal, and then after you finished tracking, editing, you can reamp it to the tone that matches your mix if you're mixing it. Next thing we're going to do is set up our session so we can start tracking. I use Logic as my DAW, but it's up to you what you want to use. They all do the same job, whatever you find easier. I usually start with creating a couple of guitar tracks. Then adding a drum plugin. I like to use Contact and Get Good Drums library for that because it has the most natural sounding drums, I believe. Make sure you're using multi-output 16-channel stereo, because that will help us later on in the process to print out all of the tracks into audio files. And next thing I use to start the session is bass VST instrument. I really like Eurobass because it goes up to E, I believe. It has DI and amplified sound that's processed through dark glass pedal, or sounds like it, and gives you really nasty tones. After that, we need to find our guitar tone. I really like using SEL Tone's Will Putney plugin because just right from the get-go, it sounds pretty good for demoing purposes, and even if you want to use it in the mix later on. There are quite a few free VSTs that you can use for your guitar sounds. Feel free to drop a comment and I'll give you some suggestions for that. Just before we start tracking, I always check the input level of my guitar signal, just so it doesn't clip, but it's not too quiet either. At the moment, I'm hitting like minus 6 dBs on my interface, which is I'm quite happy with. I would say don't go into the red zone, stay in the green, you'll be safe. Cool, let's track a quick segment of some sort of riff, add some drums and add some bass and adjust levels to that. Let's double track the second guitar. Then let's lay some drums. I always like to record kick and snare first and then cymbals afterwards. I'll just quickly quantize everything so it's on time. And we'll add some bass. As we are in C, drop C tuning, C will be the lowest kind of we go for. The easiest way I find to adjust bass is to kind of line it up with the kick. So I'm just looking into kick patterns and aligning bass notes to it. There we go. We've got our riff quickly written. I usually then open up mixing window and just adjust everything to my taste. So now you've got a session that's ready for tracking. In next video we're gonna dive into the songwriting part. Production trick! So here's one of the cool tricks I found when you're trying to make your sections sound way heavier than they actually are. Let's have a look into session. So we've got our guitars playing regular chugs, type of breakdown. Let's have a listen to that with the drums and bass. The trick to make it thicker is double track the guitars, but select a tone that's slightly darker and muddier than your previous tone, than your main guitar tone, and detune your bottom string to the point where it's floppy and you pretty much can't even tell what pitch it is, and then blend that in the mix. Let's have a listen to that. It sounds muddy, unclear, which is absolutely fine because once mixed in with the other guitars, it'll just create oomph and girth to it. Let's have a listen without and then add them in after. So this trick just creates extra low end, extra impact on your guitars when that section really needs to hit hard.